Hello everyone, welcome to S3Bubble. So in this video tutorial we're going to go through IAM user access with Amazon Web Services, okay? And we're going to talk about how you make a connection between IAM in AWS with S3Bubble. We're going to talk about policies as well and how certain keys can give access to certain services, okay? So let's just dive straight in. So as you can see, I've got an AWS account set up here. Now one thing that we set up here is we have a JSON file here with our basic setup, our basic policies needed, okay? So you can take the JSON, you can copy it and paste it in, but what we're going to do is we're going to use the visual editor just to show you it from scratch. So, okay, so let's go to policies. Let's create a policy, okay? And what you can do here is this is where you can select services that you are going to allow the keys to access, okay? So what we can do is let's go to a service and let's just type in S3 to start off with. And we want to allow all access for this demo purposes. For resources, we want to do all resources, okay? So we're allowing all access to S3 and resources. Let's review the policy, and I'm just going to call this AWS IAM. I'll just call it AWS S3 Bubble. Okay, and let's just create this policy. Okay, so once you've created a policy, then we need to attach it to a user. I'm going to take the name again. So we'll create a user, add a user, and we'll give it programmatic access. Next, we're going to attach the policy that we just created. Okay, so we want to attach this policy to that user, and then we can create this user. Okay, so as you can see, this then creates two keys. So it creates an access key that you can see. The access key is displayed in some of the S3 URLs. It's not really secure, but the secure key is the secret key. Okay, so I'm going to show you my secret key, and I'm doing this for a reason. You should never show anyone your secret key. I'm going to delete this user afterwards, so you can write it down, but I wanted to just show you how you can deny access, hence why I'm just going to show you my key. But let's take some examples. Say you download the the CSV. Okay, you've got your keys listed in the CSV. You save it on your computer, and with these keys, you've created a policy that's given admin access to your AWS account, okay? So never ever do this. We can't stress this enough. You need to lock your keys down to only giving access to certain services, okay? Now this is very important. Take someone, you lost your computer or your computer got stolen, someone found the CSV, they found your keys, you hadn't removed the keys, and then they have access to your AWS account because you've just given access to the whole thing, okay? Never do that. That's a really bad thing to do, but let me just talk you through best practices now and how you can keep your keys very secure, okay? So I'm just going to copy these keys and paste them into S3Bubble. Okay, great. So I've copied the keys into S3Bubble Connection, okay, and I'm going to click Submit, and it's going to go off and it's going to check some services. Okay, so it's going to say yes, we can list S3 access, but then we're going to get warnings for all the other ones where we can't access any of the other services. Okay, now let's just close this because now you can access everything through the actual user. So let's click on the username. Okay, now let's go and click on the user, and then you can see we've got our policy here. So this is saying that we're allowing an action of S3, which is a service, to all of S3, that's what the asterisk means, and to the resources, all resources, okay? Now we can limit this down to only allow access to a single bucket, and we can completely modify this and change this to restrict permissions as needed, okay? But this is not giving admin access, this is only giving access to S3. So remember, keep your keys as secure as possible. So let's go and take a look. So if we go to storage, okay, you can see now S3Bubble can now list your buckets. Okay, you've allowed us access with those keys. And let's go to CloudFront. Okay, so we're saying access denied. We haven't given S3Bubble access to CloudFront, have we? So let's go ahead and let's just edit this policy. And what we're going to do is we're just going to add additional service, choose service, type in CloudFront. Okay, and let's do all actions and click review policy. So you can see we've got our two services and save changes. Okay, so one thing to note, it can take a couple of seconds for it to go through. So you can see we've got an access denied still. Keep refreshing. Keep refreshing. So now we've got access. So I'll leave this in, I won't cut it out of the video because it just shows you might need to click a few times or wait a couple of seconds for those permissions to actually be actioned. So as you can see, we're building up a nice access policy here. Okay, so sometimes it does that, you might need to refresh in AWS. Okay, and we've got our policy. So we've got our policy here, restricting access. So one thing that I wanted to note is you can also edit your policy to deny access to certain resources. So let me just come in here and I'm going to go to storage, S3, okay, and I'll go into my storage bucket. Just going to upload an image. A couple of seconds. Okay, so you can see our image is uploaded. Now let's go ahead and delete that image. Okay, so you can see S3Bubble's got access to do all these calls. So we've uploaded an image and we've deleted an image. But let's say we wanted to deny S3Bubble access to be able to delete anything through S3Bubble. Then we can come in, we can edit the policy. You can go to S3. Now under actions, what we want to do is we want to take off all actions, and we only want to add list and read. Okay. Now remember, I'm just showing you this in a video tutorial. You can get super in depth. Amazon's got lots of tutorials online about all the different actions policies that you can add. So we can review policy, full list and read, save changes. Okay, let's go and take a look. AWS is not playing nice today. Okay, so as you can see, it's given us all these policies, okay, to all resources, but you can't see there's any delete or policies here listed. Okay, so let's go ahead here. Again, like I said, it might take a while to update. What we can do is, if I try to delete this file, okay, great. So it says there's no delete object, there's no permissions to do that. So S3Bubble doesn't have permissions to do that. So that's showing you how we're kind of really tailoring how the permissions work with S3Bubble and your AWS account. So you're creating a really nice, secure partnership between S3Bubble and AWS. So one thing that I wanted to note is, if we go back and take a look at our IAM policy, then we've gone ahead and we've just added the minimal access needed for S3Bubble to run all the services, as far as a full end-to-end solution where you go from your post-production to uploading to S3, running all your conversion through Media Convert, to cloud front end and output into the API. So you need these services, but I'll just touch on a few of them quickly. Media Live's live streaming, Media Convert's the encoding process, Media Package is live streaming again. Media Tailor is the server-side ad insertions. Elastic Transcoder has been superseded by Media Convert. We've moved over to a Media Convert setup. Then we've got CloudFront, all the S3 actions, and we've got some IAM actions here that are needed mainly just to create a role and pass a role. Now these are needed with Media Convert for the encoding process. So if you're going to be using Media Convert to encode your media to HLS or Dash or any other format, then these will be needed. This is the SSM put param is needed for Media Live. Recognition is if you're doing any AI, artificial intelligence, grabbing tags from videos. Create topics and subscribe is if you just want to be notified when your jobs have completed for a Media Convert encode job. And KMS list is really just old functionality that we used to use with the Elastic Transcoder. Okay, so let's go ahead and copy this, edit our policy. And I'm just going to go ahead, because this has got far too many calls in that we don't need. Just paste in the JSON, and let's just edit this. Let's say all we want to do is we want to upload our files, we want to convert them to HLS, okay, and output them via CloudFront. Kind of standard end-to-end workflow. We're not going to be doing any live streaming. We will be doing server-side insertion. We're not going to be using the old setup. We're not going to be listing keys because we don't need to do that. We're not going to be using recognition. We're not going to be using the SSM put parameter, but we're going to need all these other permissions to do the basic end-to-end solution. So let's review our policy and save changes. Okay, so now after a few minutes, S3Bubble will have access to do everything needed to do that end-to-end solution. So what we could do is you can come in we can upload a file to our bucket. We can then come in here, we can then do the media convert encoding process. Okay, good thing to note, glad that it's done that, is because after we've updated our keys with media convert, it can take up to I don't know, it takes a couple of minutes with media convert. I'm not sure why, but it will go through eventually, but you might need to refresh a few times. If you want to check if it's working, then go to media convert and just try listing the jobs. Okay, great, so it's gone through, there we go. So if we went back, went to storage, into our bucket, and then media convert. This is now grabbing all our data, we're all set up, so we could come in here, we can add our intros, outros, captions, burning in, encoding template, output into CloudFront with our bucket, everything, all the good stuff we can do now, okay, and it's all set up with watermarks, thumbnails. We can create our job and encode it. Okay, so that's how we've got set up with our keys. Now one thing also that I wanted to notice is if we went back to users, okay, and we took a look at the access key age, it says that you should, if your key is being created less than 90 days, you get a tick. Anything over 90 days, then you should really refresh it. Okay. Now, it's super easy to rotate your keys, and we suggest doing this. Keep on top of your key management. Keep refreshing your keys. It won't affect your service. It's really easy to do. But what I'm going to do is, if you go to security credentials, I'm just going to make these keys inactive. Okay. So if we went to storage, S3. And then get refreshing. Okay, so invalid access key. So those keys now are fully being made inactive. And you know, I showed you my secure access key. If we delete these, then it's completely gone. Okay, so even if you copied that down, it's completely useless. So those keys are essentially not valid anymore. So it just shows you how you should be keeping on top of your keys. And it's really easy to create a nice secure system. You just need to know what you're doing and update it accordingly. Okay, so when we rotate our keys, to do this and not affect your service, what I would do is I would leave them active first, create a new key, okay, and then what you can do is you can simply remove your keys here. Okay, keys have gone. I'm going to copy and paste my keys in from here. Okay, great, so I've copied and pasted my new keys and submit. Let's go ahead and check. You can see we've got access to all our services again. We've got our new keys that are active. So let's go and check. So we get to storage, S3. Yes, we have access. Everything's still fine. We're all good to go. So as long as that's all fine, let's get rid of those old keys. Okay, and they're gone now. So those keys are completely gone. You might think, oh, well, he showed me a secret key for this user. I can simply come in, I can delete this user, okay, and this user is now gone, so no more access keys, and then S3Bubble is denied access completely. Okay, so you have full control, okay, via your keys of what S3Bubble can do, and you could see how we could limit it, but you also should be able to see how easily it would be for someone to make the mistake of just coming in, not really understanding what they're doing, just add in an admin role. Again, like, it's all down to like how where you store your keys, etc. You store them on your computer. If you you never upload them to any service or anything like that. You know, they're completely secure over HTTPS. But can't stress enough, just keep your keys secure, keep rotating them, make sure that you only allow access to the services that you need, minimal access, and you should be good to go. Any questions, drop us an email at support@s3bubble.com. Thanks.